do either of you play cards at all?
Of course not.
Of course not. How about you?
A little bit.
Little bit. Okay, you're smarter. Now, not to say anything, it's just that most of the time if you were to play against anybody, particularly like myself, you're going to be in for a very rough night, so to speak. And I do actually want to talk about that for just a minute, because one of my biggest fascinations has always been the ideology of cheating at cards, right? Rigging a game, fixing a deck. I'm sure many of you have heard the term like stacking the deck or something along those lines, right? I wanted to try to find a way to make it a little bit more interesting, so I found the best way to do that would actually be by showing you all what would widely be considered an exercise that most card cheats would use to kind of get their hands calibrated, right? Now, that's going to be 3 cards right there. I think we're just going to need 1 more right there for you. Would you mind just checking our progress? I just want to see how we're doing so far. And you can show everyone else the 4 aces as well. That would make me very happy. Good. All right. Now, what we're going to do is, like I said, you can turn it face up. It's not a secret. Yeah, like I don't know what I gave you. All right, so this is, like I said, this is going to be a gambler's exercise where before a game would even begin, the card sheet would actually start by isolating the cards into separate packs, 4 to be precise, 1 for each ace. And it would look a little something, this is more or less just the lull of the show. But this is more to show you that these guys are in fact going to be 100% separated at the very beginning, and that is very important, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to cheating at cards, many card cheats over the years would use a series of different things to help them along the way, right? Most people would be familiar with, like, just say bending a corner and just leaving that like that, and then once they get the cards where they need, they would just smooth out that bent corner and no one would be the wiser. Once they started to get a little smarter and people started to catch on to that, then they started to do something different where they would shave the edge of the card by, say, 1 millimeter, which they could then give the cards to their opponent, and their opponent wouldn't be any intuitive at all to that, and they would just cut the cards for them directly where they needed to. Inversely, card sheets would also have cards that would protrude by 1 millimeter, which, once the cards have been dealt out, is a very subtle thing that most people aren't really going to pick up on. And the other thing, and I really honestly shouldn't be telling you this, but I like you both. So, many card sheets would use something called a break. It doesn't look like much in the front, but in the back you can actually see there's a very large gap in the back of the cards where the card sheet could simply just take his thumb, lift up to the break, and simply just cut the cards where he needs to, right? And no one would be the wiser to that. Now, without any of that happening and all 4 of these aces spread out into different spots in the deck, it would be a real damn shame if I did something like this. Especially considering the fact that once I dribble through the cards, right, there's no possible way that I can catch a break on any of these cards. And I'll even let you ladies see as well, there's going to be no bent corners, no protrusions, no cards sticking out by 1 millimeter, no cards shaved off by 1 millimeter, right? And obviously I'm not holding any spots with my hands right now. So, what are you looking for? Something is going to happen. You're out of that. I don't know how to tell you this, but a whole lot of something is going to be happening. So the question comes down to how do you get the cards back into your control if you're going to cheat? And the honest answer is you have to shuffle the cards. And going around the world, there's a series of different ways that you can do this. Most people, when they play at home, are more familiar with something like this. It's called an overhand shuffle. It's a very common thing to do. If you play in cities like Las Vegas or Atlantic City, they might shuffle the cards in a more flashy manner. Something that might look a little something like this. I want to make sure this is nice and perfect. And then you close it off with a little bridge, right? But that's just a riffle shuffle for those that aren't familiar with like any other fancy terms. Do either of you play casinos by chance?
No.
Smart. When you play casinos, house rules are going to dictate that you must shuffle the cards face down on the table like this. Reason for that is because I can peek at the cards, you can peek at the cards. This is just a very nice way to prevent any form of cheating from happening, or so I've been told. Because you would shuffle the cards like so, and I can even allow you both to see, and everyone else that's watching, that that's about as fair as I can possibly make it, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
That's pretty good.
And I'll tell you what, just so that way there's no doubt in anyone's minds, would you mind taking one hand, put it right here? And would you mind taking one hand, put it right here?
Would you like that?
Yeah, and just push the cards together. Beautiful. Let's not push them off the table. Just go ahead, go all the way down one. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, this is fun. This is interactive.
Nailed it.
This is sensory time. Yeah.
Someone take a picture.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Now, the only other way that I'm going to show you, this was an actual preventative measure that a lot of card sheets would use, or people that would host games. and more shady things like backroom games in pool halls way back in the day, or maybe in just a home game. This had a number of different names or monikers where they would call it, say, Anaconda Style or Alaskan Poker. I call it annoying because they would shuffle the cards half face up into half face down, and my OCD does not allow that. So if I were to shuffle the cards like this, it would really put a big damper on the whole thing, especially once you give the cards a couple of extra cuts, making sure that everything truly is nice and well mixed. Now, I will also say that if I do show everyone here the current state of the cards, that right there, with respect, pisses me off, right? But it is this chaos and this lack of structure that is going to be very, very important. Because even after I cut the cards again, you're going to see that some of them are going to run front to back.
Yeah.
Others are going to run, say, back to front, which means by default the rest of these cards are going to run, say, front to front, back to back. It's just a very jumbled up mess. However, at this point right now, I can actually make 3 statements with the utmost certainty. And the first being that while all 4 of those aces were separated at the very beginning of this, they're all side by side now, one next to the other. Of course they are, right? You're gonna be so mad. The second thing is that I put those aces into the exact center of the deck. And then the third thing is to make it easier for both of you and everyone else here to see, is that I actually straightened out every other card in the deck except for the Ta-da! All right.
You guys didn't see that?